Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Jeremy Nadon here. Welcome to the Quit Nicotine Now program, Module 1. I am really excited for you to go on this journey with me. I think it's going to be incredible. I'm really excited for you to go through this program. Um, so today we're going to cover basically why nobody chooses to vape and just kind of some foundational stuff on how this program works, the timeline of quitting nicotine, and we're going to also figure out what it's costing you. We're going to figure out what nicotine does for you. Let's get into it. So, why does no one choose to vape, right? It sounds kind of, you know, counterintuitive, but let's get into it. So, is it an actual choice? So, if you had a choice, you wouldn't be watching this course right now. You vape because you're caught in a trap and you've tried to escape and failed. And when would you have chosen if you had chosen to do it initially, right? Like when did you actually choose to vape every day? I know for me, like when I started, I would always tell myself, I could never get hooked on this, right? Or, I'll just do it socially. I'll just do it casually. I'll just hit friends' vapes, right? And I think everybody kind of started like that and we just kind of drifted into it. And we never really consciously made the decision to vape every day. Um, and do you really enjoy it, right? Like when you enjoy something you want to do it more, right? Yeah. um I think most of us are just fed up with it and are ready to move on with our life, right? So how this program works is there's no willpower required. So that's like a big thing. A lot of people think they just need more willpower to quit. You don't need willpower to do something there's no perceived benefit for. And in this program, we'll be removing the perceived benefits that make you want to vape in the first place. It's very easy to do something when you don't have a reason to do it. That's literally the kind of the theory that this entire program is based off of. It's really simple, I know. There's little to no withdrawal, so most vapors associate withdrawal with like terrible cravings and physical symptoms that are painful. But did you know that every single night when you go to sleep, you literally go through 97% of withdrawal. 97% of the nicotine is out of your body after 8 hours. And like, look, the symptoms you might have had from past attempts to quit are real, but they're not caused by nicotine. They're literally these past symptoms are literally caused by your perceived benefits for nicotine. It's almost like a mourning period. So, and that's just consists of reasons to do it, right? So we're going to be removing your reasons, because the only real reason that isn't false to vape is to feed the physical addiction, which is a feeling most people confuse with being slightly hungry, because it literally feels the exact same. Any other feelings or reasons, like it relaxes me, it helps me with concentration, those are all illusions. And your goal through this program is to become a happy non-nicotine addict by the time you finish the last video. So yeah, I don't want you to cut down. I want you to continue vaping while you're watching this program. And yeah, do not cut down. Do not, yeah, just continue vaping like you normally do. And then at the very end of this program, that's when you'll actually quit. And look, this program is easy if you can deal with just being slightly hungry for 3 days. You can get through this. Um, like, yeah, that's why I'm saying it's not about willpower, right? Like before I ever quit, I was able to do things that required a lot of willpower. I've done a dry fast, which is no food or water for 3 days before I was ever able to quit. Right? It requires a lot of willpower, but um, it's not about willpower, guys. It's like trying to break open a safe, um, just by banging on the door, right? Trying to bash it open, it just doesn't work, right? So the key is the combination. So now let's talk about the timeline of quitting nicotine. So there's a lot of myths around this. Most people think they have to wait like 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months before they can actually consider themselves non-addicts, and this just isn't true. So nicotine is a poison. It's a colorless, oily compound that's actually lethal to humans in relatively small doses. and it's one of the fastest acting addictive drugs out there, and it's even faster than heroin. It breaches the blood brain barrier way faster than heroin. So your body, being the incredible machine that it is, gets rid of poisons fast. Right? Like our bodies will eject nicotine very fast. After 2 hours, 50% of the nicotine has left. After 6 hours, 97% of the nicotine in your system has left. Oh, so it's even shorter than I said earlier. And after 24 to 48 hours, literally 100% of the nicotine in your system has left. So that's how fast nicotine leaves your system. So now let's look at what this addiction is actually costing you. So money. Let's calculate like how much do you spend per week, and then times that by 52, so you get how much you spend over a year, and then times that by 10, right? So that's over a decade. And then just times that by the amount of decades you have left, plus add an extra decade on there because when you quit, I mean, if we're looking at smoking data, which, I mean, a lot of people are saying that vaping is literally worse for your health than smoking. So, but literally, quitting smoking adds an extra 13 years on your life on average, right? So you can add an extra decade on there just from years you'll have more, right? So, so let's do, I'm going to do an example right now. So like, let's say it's 100 a week, right? So that's 5,200 a year. And then, I mean, if you're like 25, let's say you expect with technology to live to 95, right? So, I mean, over a decade, that's $52,000. Did I do that math right? Yeah, I did. $52,000 per decade. And then times that by seven, that's $364,000. And how many people here spend, like, that's pretty normal. Like, a lot of people spend $400 a month on vaping. $364,000. That's your house, right? You could be investing that in a lot of different things. But anyways, I think we all know what we could spend that on, and how much money we're wasting on this. The opportunity that you're caught, like, because I'm not just gonna talk about money. What opportunities are you missing? Nicotine works on the dopamine system. And the way the dopamine system in the brain, it's basically like the reward center of the brain, the reward chemical that gets released in the reward centers of the brain. Basically, how this works is the more easy artificial dopamine you can get, the less motivated you'll be to do things that are good for you. So that's why it's a lot easier to just vape than like go exercise. Because basically the way that your brain, so basically what dopamine is like back in caveman times, it's what motivated us to seek out a mate or find food or like do basic things for survival and the continuation of the human species. But now there's all these big corporations that have essentially tricked us into doing things that benefit them, not necessarily our survival, by hijacking the dopamine system. So basically, your brain, your subconscious mind, can't. It only sees like, okay, does this action release dopamine? Yes. If yes, that's a one. Do more of that. It'll create a snapshot of what led up to that event, and you'll do more of those things. So that's why you're more likely to vape than do something that requires a bit more pain before you get the dopamine release, right? So by vaping, you're way less motivated to, I don't know, work on your health, exercise, eat better, right? Because eating better, right? That's like a little bit, if healthy food doesn't taste necessarily as good, or if it does, it takes more preparation than, ordering food, right? Um, Basically, it trains your brain to do, very low. It trains your brain to go for the least amount of resistance. When you want to have a fulfilled life, in my opinion, you want to train your brain to go for the maximum resistance, right? To have a fit body, to succeed in your career, you want to go through some pain first for the reward in the future. I mean, and then physical health, right? Risks of collapsed lungs, EVALI. EVALI stands for e-cigarette and vaping product use associated lung injury, and all the effects of decreased cardiovascular health and reduced movement, right? So there's these three costs so far, but then there's also the cost of mental health, right? Constant worry of when you'll have a health issue, when one of these issues that we brought up with in the physical health side, like when is that going to come up? You're always worried about that, not feeling in control. Plus the added anxiety and stress from constantly going through withdrawal. Like you're as soon as you are done with that last puff, as soon as that vape cloud leaves your lungs, you are starting to go through withdrawal constantly. So, and that just creates stress and anxiety and irritability. And yeah, it's just, um, and also, one thing I want to talk about too is cortisol. So your body is constantly in fight or flight mode, but from constantly inhaling a poison. You're constantly in the state as if like a tiger walked in the room. Those are the chemicals that are firing off in your body constantly when you're vaping. Especially if you're vaping from the like I used to do, like from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. It's like, yeah, like your cortisol is always going to be elevated. I've seen people who quit vaping and literally their BPM, their beats per minute on their heart, like their heart rate, basically goes down from like 90 or 95 to like 45. And most highly trained athletes have a BPM of 40 beats per minute. So yeah, like you're just constantly just on edge. So what does nicotine do for you? Let's go over these points. Point one, point two, point three. Let's just go through it all. Nicotine does absolutely nothing for you. Absolutely. And that's what I'm going to be going over in this program. I'm going to be showing you, just through basic education, basic facts, basic science, why every reason you have to vape in the first place is a complete lie that's either created by the addiction itself, by brainwashing from big tobacco, or from society. And I will prove this to you in a way where you won't doubt it. And once you see, you can't unsee. And yeah, it'll make quitting really easy for you. But literally, nicotine does absolutely nothing for you. So here are your action items for today. I want you to consciously vape. So what this entails is basically like most people just mindlessly kind of vape when they just kind of do it. They don't really pay attention to it. I want you to start every time you vape, when you can, pay attention to it. Pay attention to the sensation, the physical sensations of the vapor going into your mouth, right? And the taste of it, and the feeling of it going into your throat and down into your lungs, and your lungs expanding, and then feeling what that feels when you. This should be very tapped into your feelings, the physical sensations, whenever you vape from now on. And look at your quiz results and self-analyze and write down why you vape. So your quiz results are going to give you a lot of um, like it's going to, yeah, basically expose a lot of things about why you vape, and it'll also give you an explanation as to why it's wrong. But in this program, we're going to be like hitting that like hard, like it's going to be like this quiz on steroids. um, and obviously with some other stuff too, but yeah, just and if the quiz doesn't quite get everything, just kind of self-analyze, like think about like, why do I vape? Did the quiz capture every reason why you vape, or is there some other stuff that the quiz didn't get to, right? And then just write down why you vape. Keep just write pen and paper notes, file in your phone, something like that, and just write that down. Write down and make an extensive list of why not to vape. So actually, on my website, I have an article. Um, if you look up at my blog, I have an article, or a blog article I wrote, that says like I think it's like, yeah, top 50 reasons to quit vaping. So you could look at that, maybe get some inspiration, add your own stuff, and just, yeah, basically literally make a T chart of like positives of vaping, why I currently vape, negatives of vaping. Make that list. And yeah, that's basically it. So here's what we covered today. We covered why no one chooses to vape, how this program works, just kind of some fundamental stuff, just so you kind of understand how to go through this. Um, yeah, the timeline of quitting nicotine. So just kind of, yeah, what to expect as you're going through this, what it's costing you, and what nicotine does for you, and then some action items. Make sure you complete those action items. Another thing too is, when you're going through this program, watch each video to completion, 100%. Do not miss a single thing. And also, when you're going through this program, your phone needs to be on airplane mode in the other room. I need you to be focused on this. I don't want the video playing in the background with you on WhatsApp or scrolling or looking at cat videos on YouTube. Be 100% focused on this thing. You can vape, that's already a distraction, but don't add more distractions on top of that. Let's just focus on this program when you're going through it. And yeah, so basically, that's it for this module, guys. I will see you in the next one.